Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ren, and welcome back to another off season. This show is brought to you by the University of the Bahamas, as well as University Relations and University UB Athletics. Anybody who knows what we're going through right now, it's been a crazy day. We were supposed to, I guess, be in lockdown, but now the country is going to be opened again, so it's a lot that's been happening in the country. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. A lot is happening today, so we're only going to be hopefully 30 minutes. Have this discussion today. Of course, today is also the parents' night for our new student orientation. So I want to just go in there, log in, see some of the parents, answer any questions if needed. So thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you for logging in. Today's special guest, of course, is somebody who I call a legend in UB Athletics. Coming in as a freshman, I had the chance to get to know him before I even saw him. I was grateful to have made the University of the Bahamas scholarships, but I wanted to try out for the basketball team, coming straight from St. Augustine's College. And of course, anybody who knew anything but basketball knew of this man who's being interviewed today, who is Mr. Galvin Lightbourne. So G is what I call him for short, and anybody who knows him, call him G for short. I think this picture speaks to the articulation of who this man is. Very intelligent guy. I didn't know he was the basketball captain. Like, I thought he was a philosopher when I first met him. Then turned out that he is down people in basketball too. So we're just waiting for G to log in. But again, thank you. You're always free to go back on the timeline on Instagram. You can see all of our episodes. We have over 30 episodes with college athletes that are here. Some have gone abroad. Our coaching, our staff, our athletic trainers, and there's some good key lessons and nuggets to take home if you're trying to work yourself into getting one of our many UB scholarships. So if you want to know how do you get recruited, you want to take a look at the sports, maybe the category. We have an interview with head coach Sheen. We have an interview with so many people that you can listen to and definitely get some nuggets from. But thank you guys for logging in. We're going to have a good show today. We're a little early, so no rush. You know, you can relax. We're a little early. But thank you, everybody. How to go flying. He ain't here yet. Galvin ain't here yet. But when he come, definitely, I think he'll see a comment. Shout out to all those who had more than one bottle in their house before they locked down the country yesterday. That was funny. I here with my one bottle of blue, 5 gallon, and I had the country locked down for 7 days. You know, we started looking at how much cups of water we could drink a day to make it. It was funny, man. But this lockdown, it's where we formed the show, right? Off season, having conversations with athletes. So, yeah, let's have some fun today. Like I said, he's a very intelligent man. It's my pleasure to interview him and kind of hear and learn about the history of the athletic program through his story. And as always, if you're into a good workout, if you want to work out, you can also check out our Zoom. If you message Coach Edna Roll, there's a live Zoom workout from 6 to, I believe, 6:30, where Coach Edna goes over a lot of at-home workouts with the track and field team. We have a lot of local people and athletes who join in on that workout. I think it's a lot to gain from it. Hey, Regina, what you saying? Shout outs to Regina, Audie, AC Audie in here too. Everybody, we're just logged in a little early. Of course, the show starts in the next 3 minutes, but I'm just logged in, preparing for Galvin to log in so we can get the show started. This should be a fun show. That Junkanoo love story. That falling in love story. Shout out to Julian Believe for putting that song in my head. I don't know why he's singing that song. I'm in love. How you doing, Dr. Sophia Roll? Thank you for logging in. We're just waiting for our guest of honor, Mr. Galvin Lightbourne, to sign in, and we'll begin the show. Just a reminder, this is off season. We come together with our alumni, student athlete alumni, with current students, our student athletes, our staff, administration, and we have conversations about sports. I feel it's interesting to know what athletes are doing during this off season. That's what we're calling it. So some people worrying about the new norm, but for athletes, those who are going off the worlds inside Japan, those who are preparing maybe for a national team, they don't stop. Like, they have to log into Zoom workouts. They have to keep their bodies fit. They have to eat right, because whenever this, of course, reach at a level that we can get back into the sporting dynamics, similar to the NBA right now with the bubble, right? Whenever we open up to start again, they got to be fit. A lot of our student athletes are on scholarship. So one of the things, of course, they want to do is they want to stay fit so they can keep their scholarships. So that's what off season is all about. So we're in a little early today just to make sure there isn't any connection problems. I just talked to Galvin, so he should be logging in a timely fashion, and we'll get started. How you doing, Ms. Rose? And again, there's a lot of things happening this evening. Of course, NSO Parents Night is tonight, 6 p.m. via Zoom. If your child is a new student at the University of the Bahamas, you'd want to log in. The Parents Night is a good informational night where you can learn a lot about the university's brand and what we're offering to your child who's going to be a future Mingo. Well, now they are a Mingo, After the session, I think they'll be fully a Mingo. Along with that, we also have the workouts with Coach Edna Roll. That's at 6 p.m. as well via Zoom. You can join in there to get in shape. A lot of people have bragged about losing weight due to the athletic trainers workout, as well as the workouts with Coach Edna. And I'll say take on the challenge. If you want to lose anything in COVID-19, I would say the number one thing to lose is weight. Nothing wrong with getting slim. Thank you for logging in, everybody, so far. I see you, Kim. I see you, Sasha. Just got an early start today, so just waiting for Galvin to log in and we'll get started. I just spoke to him, so we should be all good to start once he logs in. I wonder if I could catch Sasha off guard. Sasha, you and let's go live for a minute, just to catch you off guard. See if you would accept. Wow, that hurt my feelings, Sasha. What about you, Ms. Rule? While we wait for Galvin, you want to go live with me for a second? Let's have a little powwow, maybe talk some athletics, while I get 2 no's in one day. Because that's fine, ain't nothing wrong with hearing no twice. I can live with that. I guess. I'm gonna give him a call though, just to make sure everything's good. Because I see we're normally give it like 5 minutes. We're like 2 minutes behind. Just give him a call to make sure everything's good. Just roll dip out on me. She ain't even on to me. Hey, just making sure everything's good. You.
Alright, you want me, I going on Instagram now, you don't turn the live feed?
Yeah, we on the live feed right now.
Oh, no, I like talking to someone else. Okay, let me go and sign in on Instagram then.
Alright.
Alright, brother.
Alright, so he's coming in right now. Sorry for the delay. Boy, Miss Roll, is Miss Roll still there? Let me see if she's still there before I end up talking to myself. Miss Roll isn't there, so Sasha, she ain't gonna trick me. I was gonna ask her if she ever could imagine, Galvin, all dressed up like this, in a bow tie, good to go. Alright. The man of the hour is here. Boss, how you doing, man? How you doing?
Everything good, brother, what do you say?
Hey, right there, man. It's a pleasure, man. Thank you for logging in. So this the atmosphere. I know back in your day they didn't have no social media like that, but this is how we get a lot of the work done for athletics.
Well, I mean, it ain't so far back, but I don't think the live was as present. So going live wasn't the thing back then as much, but it's cool, this live element really is a good feature to connect.
Definitely, man.
But so the live isn't as prevalent.
So we and the joyous part about this episode, if I could share very quickly, is Galvin, of course, is one of the first athletes that the university's program picked up, and me and Coach Roll and me and Miss Roll were talking about you, and it's like Miss Roll told me I couldn't start the show unless let me read her words directly, because I don't want to get fired. I don't want to get fired, bro. Let me make sure I read what she told me say. So she said to make sure I tell you that when we did the top 5 to 7 players of all time, you were her number 2. Like, so we put Lang at 1, and everybody picked you as 2. But of course, Coach Roll, they put Justin Smith there. So she just wanted you to know that you was always a number 2. That's the first thing I had to say. The second, I'm listening. I'm listening. What do you have to say?
I would toot my own horn, but boy, I can't say I dropped the number 2.
No. Position. So it's like Coach Roll picked his top 5 of all time, right? So he picked Lang as 1 center, and then for shooting guard, that's what she's doing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was.
Okay.
So it was all right. The all-star team was supposed to be you, Kim Z, Ruben Goodman, Shaky, and somebody else. And I think Justin Smith. I think that's the ultimate team that we found out through talking to a lot of people that it would be.
Right.
But
I could say this. Miss Kim Roll, visionary. Single-handedly. I mean, like, that's someone who right up there with profoundly with some of the people who I venerate and admire. So, Ms. Roll, pioneer, trailblazer, and single-handedly built along with help by others, but she was the glue behind building that athletic program from scratch. She was the pioneer, the trailblazer to literally take that to the level of that now,
Boy, Galvin,
so I have a
it's so good. If she was here, she would have been blushing right now. She would have been like, shut down the interview. This one good to go. We good in the books. But let's get to the interview. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Off Season, brought to you by the University of the Bahamas, Office of University Relations and University Athletics. Of course, we are hosting today an interview between ourselves and Galvin Lightbourne, who is a proud alumni of the institution. And after this, we remind you that this will be posted on our Instagram page, YouTube, Facebook, and of course, shared along our podcast on SoundCloud with our partners, 10 Year Senior. So without further ado, Galvin, this evening is all about you. You come with a lot of history on the program. So we're going to dive into your past first, in that we know that you were balling before the University of the Bahamas. Can you tell us some of your achievements, or maybe when the ball started to move for you?
Well, I started off playing from the early 90s. I like to take it back to the first basketball program I was a part of. I played for the Baintown Builders. Jackson Hillary and Gerald Battle, they introduced me to it. And from then, Baintown and Over the Hill, what it did was it taught me everything I knew. And besides that, it taught me the heart and spirit of the game and how to play it with my soul and my everything and how to give it my everything. And I did an interview and sorry, go on.
No. Continue.
And it's a podcast the name of the podcast is Players Tribute. And I told them that every time I stepped on a basketball court, I was representing a neighborhood. It was more than the game. So Baintown, Grantstown, Taylor Street, Hay Street, those are the places that my foundation, the great community of Over the Hill, Southern Recreation, which is filled with its history, is the foundation of who I am as a person and a player. So what everyone saw from Galvin was basically me reaching back into that lineage of my ancestors and the ballers that came before me, the Bobby, the Roaches, the Bowshine, and these Over the Hill ballers that gave me my grit and my intensity and my passion. So after playing for Baintown, I then moved on to play for the Wolverines. And the Wolverines coach, Dennis, God rest his soul, he had 200 guys he would extend to play on his program. He had multiple teams in summer league and in night league. And that is right there when I started to cultivate the skills. And I owe everything so much to Dennis Pratt. And he's one of the people that built Galvin and gave me the opportunity to play, and he facilitated my skills playing for the Wolverines program. And then it came to high school, and C.R. Walker, Trevor Grant, playing for Mr. Grant, is when I stepped on the national stage and my skills were taken to the next level, and the game was taught to me at the next level to the extent he could have taught, and he was a great teacher. Mm-hmm. And I made the junior national team. I was considered after that Hugh Campbell in 2001, one of the top players in the country. And, I had the opportunity to go away and play in Texas and New Mexico. And after playing in Texas and New Mexico, playing in every park, playing in every tournament, Nelson Cooper, for me, basketball, before getting to COB, the University of the Bahamas, I brought a legacy. I brought a community. I brought a passion and an energy, that was instilled in me. Mm-hmm. All of these things that I brought, and I went through the struggles, the ups and downs, seeking out the best talent. Mm-hmm. So for me, before I came to COB, the thing that established me as a basketball player in the Bahamas was seeking out the best talent in the country, not shying away from the challenge and going out there and competing to the best of my ability at the highest level, regardless to who's watching, regardless to individual accolades, regardless to what fame may come. It was simply for the pure love of the game. And entering into COB, I had all of those experiences. So my basketball career is an amalgamation of the style playing of international players, the NBA, but also the local players. You know, the Wars, the Horatio Forbes, the Logs, and I call in their nicknames the
That's fine,
Dogs,
man.
the the Fowler Street players, the Magic, Mr. Magic, and Reggie Miller, and Kojak, and Tavares Fowler, Rock, and Romeo Cooper, who we call Roach, and Ronaldo Barnaby, and so much different players, Manny Neville Adley, and the list goes on. Cardo Pierre, God rest the dead, Zach, who used to play on our court, Daniel, Bill, all of who I am, of all of what I became as a ball player before I came to COB was a total combined effort of watching some of the best players, Fabian Lightbourne, William Delancey, Kirkwood Neely, Heads. I had the opportunity to watch from Centerville Park to Carmichael Road and all the greats in between, having that opportunity to sit at their feet and learn. So that's basically what made me who I was before I came to see
Now
the university.
We have touched the passion behind basketball, but anybody who's listening to this can hear you're no dummy, bro. Like, I want to say how I was introduced to you. I came into COB as a young man, and anybody who knew about the bench culture know that you would either see either your cousin, Dematthew or yourself leading a ladies and gentlemen, you think this man can bring people to a stadium? G used to sit by this when they used to have the benches where the new library is on that side before they do Tucker Road. So G would be sitting there and having a conversation, and you as a student couldn't pass there without engaging in it, because it wasn't, and you hear a little bit about it when you touch in Baintown. It wasn't normal level conversations. It was you dissecting at a particular level every concrete statement somebody says and questioning them. But I watched lawyers come and sit by your bench and wonder why you want a lawyer. So talk about, and this is a part of it, right? A lot of athletes don't talk about that intellect, but talk about, probably for the audience, why it was so important for you to articulate yourself so well as a young man.
Well, first and foremost, I think I represent a dual state. I am a young man that came from the grassroots and then after coming from the grassroots to the Bahamas, never forgetting where I came from and embracing where I came from. So I had the passion and desire, but even more so, I came into contact with my history, the legacy of my ancestral lineage, the Stokely Carmichaels, the Cromie and Crumors, the philosophical African philosophy of Ubuntu. Without we, there is no I. And I started to question the process of the individualistic, self-concept of the Western Hemisphere and how it is destroying us. Mm-hmm. And that's where my introspection came from. Mm-hmm. It came from now not projecting onto the world myself, but trying to understand the world from the position of all people and understanding the beauty of my culture, the identity of the great men that came before me, the General Strike in 1958, the Sir Randall Folks, the 1965 April 27 Black Tuesday, the 1942 Burma Road riot, and understanding that these were not political movements, these were movements for the advancement of equality, and understanding the Haitian Revolution of 1802 and Toussaint L'Ouverture. So see, when I was speaking, my thought process was a combination of all of the great people that sacrificed their life to give me the opportunity to speak to the brothers and sisters that were around me at COB. because I refuse to walk on by and allow their legacy and their sacrifice to go unknown and unheard of. I formed a symbiosis with my history and my culture. I formed a symbiosis with my ancestors and the contribution they made. And the empathy and the humanity in me refused to allow their story to not be told and to treat any other human being without the equality and dignity that all persons deserve. And from that perspective, the game then became secondary.
Hey, and let's touch the game for a second. So let's set the stage, right? You're entering at the College of the Bahamas, and it's not what we have today. There was no social media platform, no Facebook, Instagram. It was just, if I can be honest, I believe yourself, a few players, Sean, and it has been summarized by the athletic director as y'all used to practice and travel. Kind of, for any listeners, especially basketball players who listen to this, give them that reality of back then what you all had and what motivated you. Because, and I'm going to be honest, there was no meal plan. There was no financial assistance. There was no paying for your trip. You all had to put together to pay for your trip and for your uniform and for your food. You had to pay for your own food. And these are a lot of the accommodations that we have today that some of our athletes don't understand. So give us the truth about back then and keeping in mind the comparison to now. Give us what it was to be a COB athlete back in your time.
Well, I did 5 courses at the College of the Bahamas when I was a student athlete. I took a full course and I worked 48 hours as a security. And I had to practice every day. And I would have to walk from Wolf Road, Montreal's Avenue to Oaks Field every night. That was what it was to be a student athlete. It wasn't until the vision of Mistress Kim Roll, who brought to light the necessity of athletes needing to have their classes or having a gateway for our classes to be scheduled and not have to wait online with other students. She brought the culture of student athletes to the College of the Bahamas or the university because there was none. There was no meal plan. We hosted little parties to build money for our tennis. We didn't have no bikes. We didn't have warm-ups. We played a few games away and we had to throw little events to pay for them. Mm-hmm. We didn't have no money for books.
Yeah.
I think I was one of when Miss Kim Roll came with her vision and her understanding and her insight into what an athletic program needs to be. I remember she told me, she said, Galvin, I'm changing this. Now, either they are going to give me the assistance I need to make this a program or not, I'm not going to do it at all. I'm not half-stepping. And right then, I was one of the first student athletes to be treated as a student athlete, to get some type of funding. Because without Ms. Roll, the program would have not gone anywhere and wasn't going anywhere. Mm. And that's why I think it's very important to understand the significance that Mrs. Roll played in developing, not just coming and taking over a program. Literally, the athletics department is the rock, the building that Ms. Roll built, literally from scratch. And a lot of student athletes, like I told them, because I had the opportunity, I dust off my old J's and I went and played night league, and they beat us. And Kimsey, and they have one guy there. Oh, he got a sweet stroke. The brother is excellent.
What you mean,
Robert? Ball player.
Robert Joseph?
Yeah. Oh, I love watching the brother play. I'm a big fan of his.
All right.
And I told them after the game, I say, a few of y'all don't know me, but let me tell you all something. Embrace this moment. make sure that you give it everything you have. You have an excellent coach now. You have a coach.
Mm-hmm.
You have someone who is literally devoted to taking you all to the next level. Focus on your education, but enjoy this ride as a student athlete and all the amenities. Because trust me, you all don't know the half of the story.
So I wanna
know?
take a pause there. So you speak of playing against Kimsey, and of course I sent you a highlight reel of him from 2017 to 19. And I want and the reason why I'm doing this because I know your heart as a baller, bro. You remember Colin, right? Colin Thompson for COB.
Yes.
Bro, when I come in as a freshman, I was on SOC team, and one of my captains, Lawrence Benoit, was bragging about you. So they're like, but G is the man, G is this, that. So Colin, I tried out for the team and hadn't made it, and you did something, but I still remember this. You pulled Colin to the side, and you was working with him with little jump moves and showing him little post moves and stuff. And I always remember that because it's like, it takes a next level of passion and leadership to even though somebody don't make the team, still work with them. So with your introspection and your eye, I'm curious, looking at who Kimsey is to the team, and he's being compared, to be honest, as the Galvin of this time. He's just doing what you used to do for COB in this time. He's putting up the numbers, he's making the opportunities, he's shutting down the defense. They're gonna double team Galvin like they're gonna double team Kimsey, right? So looking at his tapes and everything he's doing, what would you have to say about his gameplay as a baller?
Kimsey represent that Centerville community. I pulled him on the side, spoke to him on numerous occasions, and tell him that, brother, I admire you, and I want you to make sure that you finish your degree and finish what you started yet because you're creating a legacy. Now, Kimsey, athletic, because I know of him before you even sent me that video. Mm-hmm. I played against him. He is humble. He has that desire in his eyes, competitive. He's very defensive and team oriented. I mean, there's nothing I could say except that Kimsey is one of the role model prototype that every athletic student athlete should follow at the College of the Bahamas. And I appreciate him, and I find it to be an honor to even for anyone to even compare me to him or compare him to me in that he is filling that role because he is truly an excellent talent. You know,
bro, I have to be honest, Galvin, how you talk about working hard behind the scenes, the reason why Kimsey has my respect is I believe he works 2 on-campus jobs while still doing a job outside to support his family, while still coming to practice, while keeping up his grades. So when you talk about that spirit and as the creator of Domingo, a lot of people don't ask it, right? But you said a little that snare of Domingo up. When I drew that, what I was thinking of, I say, boy, anybody who go to COB know that this ain't no smiling thing, dog. When you make it through COB, it's a grind factor, but you come out there tougher. So when I originally drew the Mingo, and I put them teeth there, and I put that snare to say, but you got to be fast to make it. This ain't no game. And when, you can go. Mm-hmm. I got to read this message from Kim.
Right. Because, see, I told Kimsey, I told him, don't look for no sympathy if he can remember. I say, nothing is given, and don't ever look to receive nothing, earn it. Mm-hmm. And he told me, say, yeah, but G, you know, it hard. I say, it ain't hard yet, and it ain't never hard for us because we had to create our opportunity. Mm-hmm. It wasn't given. And with Colin, it didn't matter. See, I don't see, when I see a person, I see my equal. So if it was you, Colin, anyone, if you wanted to try, I am willing to teach. I am willing to tell. And the only reason why I am not devoting any time to the Mangoes program, and Kim know that, she got me on speed dial. Anything she want, I'll be there for her. And she know that. The only reason why I wouldn't step to that program, and I spoke to Coach Roll, who is doing an excellent job with the men's basketball team, is because I would want to give my full attention and full effort, because I can't go to half stepping with Miss Roll. If I can't give her everything, I can't give her 5 cents. And that's one of the things. And that same passion and desire in Kimsey, I told him, when it's said and done, you will truly understand the type of character and the type of man it will create in you. And I saying, like, if you're looking for a pity party, if you're looking for someone to tell you it's too hard, I say we have every reason, and it's the truth. We have every reason. I had every reason to quit and to give up. I had good, legitimate reasons. But when you carry in the legacy of a community, when you're going to be one of the first persons in one of your mother's kids to get a college degree, when you have come in contact with the history, the vibrant and the beautiful history of where you came from, I mean, and the group of people you came from, struggle, impossible is a day. Difficult is a week, impossible is a day. My struggle became my strength. That's the only way we understood it. Mental stamina is physical strength. So giving up was never an option, and that's why Kimsey, in my opinion and my view, will continue to trailblaze the path, and its success will be glorious because its hard work is constantly there.
Hey, that's it, man. So we got one more question, but before we do that, I talked about the top 5, or Coach Sparkers like to say your top 7. So with a different regime, in that a lot of the players you might mention, a lot of these current players never heard of, who would you, if you had a chance to play at their peak, who would be your players that you would choose to play on a team with you?
You mean like, or you mean just players from the College of the Bahamas?
College of the Bahamas and UB. You can use maybe some UB students who you see playing. Yeah, UB, and yeah, only College of the Bahamas people like Wall and everybody who you play with back in your day. So who would you say is your top 5 or top 7 players?
So let me see.
You can be on Miss Roll writing. She writing down. Don't worry about that.
Okay. So I would have to say I got to carry my point guard, Denzel Barr. That's my point guard.
Denzel was the one who used to wear the turban, right? Who worked at the Cove?
No. Denzel, he came from St. John's. He
played in the blue and white. He played in the blue and white. The blue versus white.
I'm not sure.
I think he played.
He may have. Right. So I can carry Denzel Barr. I'm going to carry Wall, because Wall was some of the first persons I played with when I was on the team. I'm going to carry.
You got to give his government name, though. You got to give his government name.
What Wall name is? I can't remember.
He can hit you with a table. He can hit you with a table.
Frisco. He came from Saki. He works as a customs officer. Who else? Sleepy or Jamal. I'll carry Jamal. Tario. That's my. Okay. Yeah, Tario. Who else?
Sasha freaking out. You got Sasha wake up and you say Frisco. Sasha wake up on that. Right.
Yeah. Tario. Who else I would have carried?
Well, you got your center. You got Wallace your center.
Wallace my center.
Who is your small? Who is your small man? Denzel. Denzel is your that's your small man.
Well, I can put Denzel as the 2, because I can play the 3. And I can put Sleepy Jamal. I can put him at the 1 because he was our point guard.
Okay.
Yeah. Who else? I got 3 more picks.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? I would put. Oh man,
It's hard for you because
I want
you
to
play
say.
with a lot of people, boy. Because remember, even y'all
Yeah,
had
I played.
my cousin for a while. Y'all had Sherman for one season. I hear they dunk on Sherman and Sherman
Right.
pull out.
Oh no, Sherman the tank. I carry Sherman. You want me to
No
tell you
way,
why?
no. We gotta do no.
No, but
Sherman didn't make it.
Sherman had
Sherman didn't make it.
Sherman had a lot of heart. Sherman had a lot of heart.
Man. But that's the first. Hey, shout out to the Science family. Sherman, you make a list. Way to go, Sherman.
Yeah. And I also like to work with the younger brothers who came up. So I carry Drew Rigby. He's
Shout
the
out to
trial
Drew,
for the team.
Mr. Skiffle.
So
Drew to make it.
right,
Drew was on it.
yeah. So he didn't make the 15. So I carry him along. That's my boy. But you need to punch something. You gotta carry 1 or 2 of the young brothers. I'd work with them.
Kim is also in disagreement. Kim is also like, Sherman, really?
It's real. I gotta do what I gotta do, boss. See, the thing is that sometimes you can bring out the best in certain players, and Damien. I don't know if it's real. Remember Damien? Damien he always had a cold apple on him. I'm not lying. He always had a cold apple, and he would come visit me in the dorms, and sometimes he would do some of the most awkward things. And he would come on the trip with his guitar. Then he was a musician. We would be in Walmart somewhere. He would be playing the piano. He would hand out some of his pamphlets to his Christian pamphlets to different people when we go away. But
hold on, this
he had a jump.
This the one who's the twin? Who had a lot of
Yes.
I know Damien, but I grew up with Damien. Because I grew up trans, you see. I know twin them from, his brother had ups, but I grew up trans, but I know
Right.
Damien. All right.
Hey, and you know why I picked those brothers, and especially Damien?
Yeah,
is because
Damien can ball, but I don't think he can shoot.
And in some of the lowest times I had when I was playing ball, sometimes I was at the dorms by myself. It was rough. You didn't have monies for foods and meal plan, and I was sitting in them dorms. And from out of the blue, out of nowhere, without any invitation, unbeknownst to me, Damien would show up and say, "What's going on, G?" And I'd be like, "I right here chilling, what's going on?" He say, "I just come to see you."
That's real, dog. That's real. So, Miss Roll, we got Wall, we got Sherman, we got Damien, we got Denzel, we got Tario. You say Tario. Who
Right.
else you say? You say Frisco.
I got
and then
right.
yourself. That's your seven.
Right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you've listened to Coach Barker's role, if you listen to Kimsey episode, if you listen to Shaky episode, this man named Jolene Health, and these are some of the people who, I can be honest, set the legacy what is for Domingo right now. They set the paveway, and you touch into something I was going to ask in my last question. A lot of athletes are now, and Coach Roll and Miss Roll made it possible. They're coming into a reality where that dorm situation is straight. They got running water, they got sheets, they got AC, they got generator, and a lot of them don't know what you're talking about, which is a good segue into my final question. So how was it back then? And I know what you're talking about when the dorms was the dorms, when ain't had no fence. How was it focusing on work and being a student with a living accommodation that isn't as advanced, honestly, as the ones that they have now, with security and a gate and a big sign that actually say residential campus? So give our athletes and audience, and I know you went into a little down point on it or a side point, but give them a snapshot into the conditions and how much it took to work in those conditions as an athlete back in your day.
Well, it was just one of those things that you had to truly dig in. Like I would say, with the present pandemic situation, those situations, they build character. You may not have had certain amenities, but then we had a strong leader in Mrs. Rowe. We had someone with vision. I could remember they wanted to cut our funding. Ms. Rhodes said, Galvin, I told them that they should not do this. And you guys, I think y'all need to speak to them. I organized all captains from all the sporting teams, and we went into the office of the president. And what I wanted to do, and what I hope being on your podcast would do, was spark a national conversation about athletics in our country and the opportunity it could provide. Because I could come on here and speak on all the hard times, etc., etc. But the truth is that the University of the Bahamas athletic program gave me an opportunity to showcase my skills as a Bahamian. That's the most quintessential and most important aspect that I like to think of when I think about the program. Because I was treated as a first class and acknowledged as a first class student athlete. I was given an opportunity. The University of the Bahamas gave me the opportunity on the international level to showcase my talent, to represent my country, to represent my college that has now blossomed into the University of the Bahamas. So all the hardships, they pale in comparison to the opportunity Ms. Roll and the university gave me. So it wasn't, maybe we didn't have certain amenities, but we had a leader in Ms. Roll. She saw where we were and where we needed to go. And she stuck her course, she set sail, and now the College of the Bahamas program is where it needs to be. Sorry, the university is where it needs to be, and it's continuing to grow. And bringing people such as yourself on, who is innovative and creative and
Thank you.
trailblazing the path. She puts the program in a position to grow, and that's the most important. See, what we don't see is the pain and the process that creates greatness in other parts of the world. I could come on your podcast and talk about some of the hard times, the hardships. I could speak on so much different things that we were facing. But those were what the program was in at the time was in the fermenting pot. Because to carve iron and gold, it must go through heat, and it must be melted. It must be melted. And I consider all of those things the fermenting pot that built the program that we see now to this day. And if I had to do it again, I would do it the same way. And as long as we have the leader in this role that we have to this day, it was worthwhile in the end.
Hey, and with that, hey, we're about to go into session 2. So, ladies and gentlemen, Instagram just has a timer, so they're going to cut this soon. So we're going to close this one down, and we're coming right back for the question and answer periods. So anybody who is listening can ask you more questions, and we could dive a little deeper. But this first half is amazing, buddy. Like I said, even as a freshman, I'm a young man compared to you, bro. The things you did for the culture inspired me to be who I needed to be for the brand. Like I said, like I hide a lot of stuff in the imagery of the Mingo, bro, from challenging the norm. And I learned how to think like this because I talk to people like you. So one of the things, and I'll end this segment with this, is people look at the blue flamingo and be like, flamingos ain't blue. And one thing I learned from you is question what people believe. One of my favorite quotes, the only common sense is nonsense, right? It's because I talk to you, but so whenever somebody tell me, but the flamingo ain't blue, I say, what color it is? Just how you would answer, what color it is, since you're so smart. And the average person says what? They say, oh, the flamingo pink. And I say, you sure?
Right.
And of course, once they do their research, they'll see, no, a flamingo is actually grayish white. So you walking around telling everybody flamingo pink, you wrong. So who are you to tell me that my flamingo can't be blue? And that's the kind of mentality from talking to somebody like you, bro. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're closing this first section. We're opening it right back up for the question and answer. But Galvin, thank you so much for logging in. You can see me send the invite again, bro. It only should take about less than a minute. All right?
All right. No problem, brother. I'll be up.